Welcome back for another trade review. Today I made around 152% while at work. In the morning I had some meetings, so I really didn't look at the market, but around 10:30 I was able to have some free time, so I pulled up the charts. Around that time, 10:30, I was looking at these candles here on QQQ, and I took a look at SPY as well, just to see what type of market we were dealing with today. And around 10:30, we were stuck between pre-market high, pre-market low. We were even in between previous day high and previous day low. So I thought, oh great, it's another chop day, we're just going back and forth. Well then, around that 10:30 spot, an alert hit, and it was MU. So I pulled up MU, and I took a look at the price action. When I opened MU, I actually really liked what was going on. It was very strong. However, if you remember from QQQ and SPY, we were just in between that range, so I was a little hesitant to possibly enter. This green line that I have here, this 422, that's the level that alerted. If I go to the daily, that's the highs from Wednesday. So what I was looking for was this trend to continue higher. We came back down, tested the 90 MA on the daily, and then we started to trend higher, and I was going to play over this high of 422, which in the end, we did close higher, and it looks nice on the daily, but if I go back to the intraday, it really was not that clean. We were breaking, we were strong, and at the time, around that 10:30 spot, when I started to look at this chart, I thought this might be a great opportunity to enter. We were breaking down, coming back down to retest my level, and then this candle right here was the bullish sign that I needed in order to enter. However, I wanted to be patient, so thankfully, I waited for this candle to form. We broke lower than the level, and you can see how low that wick came. It came down to 420, and then it started to get bought back up, which was a great sign. However, it never got bought back higher than the level, so I simply did not enter. While I was watching MU, another alert went off, and that was Microsoft. Around that 10:30 spot, that same time that the MU alert went off, Microsoft went off as well. You can see I have previous day low here, and then I have this red line at 401.59. And if I go to the daily, when we take a look at the daily chart on Microsoft, you can see that that 401.59 level is the low from Wednesday's candle. On Thursday, we came down and we retested a very similar area down here, around 401. So that told me that there was a lot of interest in that price. So what I was looking for was a break and retest of that 401 area, and that's exactly what we got. Since it was later in the day, I wanted to look at the higher time frames first, so I started with the 30-minute chart. On the 30-minute chart, you can see that there was a massive wick on this candle here, this 930 candle. So right off the open, we started to climb higher. It looked like it was going to be bullish, and then sellers really stepped in and closed underneath my daily level here, that 401.59, that key area. We then not only closed once, but then we closed twice, and then we closed a third time under that level. This was around the time that I started looking at the chart, so I saw these two closures, and that is what made me very interested in taking this trade. Not only that, but if I go back to QQQ, around this time is when QQQ also started to dump. If I go to the 10-minute on QQQ, you can see we broke pre-market high, but then we closed underneath. Then we broke VWAP, and that told me that there was a possibility we were going to continue to trend lower. And that's exactly what we did. We trended down, we came towards previous day low. That's what I was actually looking for on Microsoft, that confluence. I was looking for the break of previous day low on QQQ to tell me whether Microsoft was gonna go lower or not. So now, if I go back to Microsoft, and I actually go to the 15-minute, I wanted to be very patient on this one and not force anything because I knew it was Friday. I was probably going to try to trade 0 DTEs, so I wanted to be very patient. And this candle right here told me everything I needed to know. We went higher than the level, and then we got sold right underneath. We closed under that 401.59 level, and that's when I smacked this trade with all the confidence in the world, and I just let it ride out. I rode the 90 MA lower, and I sold for around 152%. I did trim along the way. I took some off around 20%, then I took some off around 50%, and then we hit the 152%. That's how I made 152% while at work today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya.